In this video, let's take a look at the DeBleed module. And basically, what you can guess from this module is that it's going to help reduce the bleed that you're getting in your audio source. So for example, in this audio file over here, I've recorded a voice, but I had a click track that was playing quite loudly through the headphones and it was picked up by the microphone. So I'm just going to close this module and play this back so you can hear it. Here we're testing out an example where I'm recording a voice, but the click is too loud and it's bleeding through into the headphones. So let's see how much of this click we can remove. So you can see these areas over here, you've got those clicks. You could, for example, use the wand tool and remove these. I'm going to attenuate these using the instant process. So you could go here and click to remove those, move that beginning one. These over here as well, could maybe do that a bit more, attenuating each time. But as you'll see when I get into it now, this is not going to help over the audio where you've got the voice going. So let's just quickly go there and get rid of these. So this is fast, but it's not going to help get to where we want to get to. So if I play back, here we're testing out an example where I'm recording a voice, but the click is too loud and it's bleeding through into the headphones. So let's see. So to remove them, if you just jump right back to the beginning over here, this is the first click. Here we're testing out that has removed it. But let me show you how the DeBleed module works. So I'm going to go back to the initial state and open up the DeBleed module. So here you will set which track has the bleed in. What you need to do is load up the audio file that you want to repair plus the audio file that's got the bleed in it. The module is going to look at the two audio files, match up that bleed, and then remove it from the audio file that you want it removed in. Just a really important thing to know is that these tracks need to be time aligned, meaning that on this track, that click is happening exactly at the same time as this. Basically, if I had to zoom up a little, you can see there's a click there, and if I scroll across, there's another click there, and looking at the timer, you can see the readouts of where those clicks are. So there's a click in the beginning and then two clicks here. If I go to this track, you can see there's a click in the beginning and the other click here that matches up with that timing. But I have exported out another click track where the timing is slightly different. So there's no click in the beginning, but the first click is sitting at 0.579. So what I could do to make sure that this was time aligned, what I could do is select everything in the beginning here and delete it so that we've got that click sitting right at the beginning so that these two tracks will be time aligned. Now going back to this track over here with the DeBleed module, you need to select the track that's got the bleed, which is this click track over here. And the active track is the voice. Now I'm going to learn the bleed profile. So that's going to analyze the audio and determine where those bleed sources are. Then down here, I can choose how much I want to reduce it, then how I can smooth out any artifacts that may be coming in from the reduction. So let's zoom out again, and we're going to select an area and play back. So I'll select quite a big area to preview it, and here we go. Here we're testing out an example where I'm recording a voice, but the click is too loud and it's bleeding through into the headphones. Bypass it. So let's see. Here we're testing out an example where I'm recording enable it again, but the click is too loud and it's bleeding through into the headphones. So you can definitely hear how that's removing that click from the track. So that's one example for you. You're recording a voice and there's bleed through the headphones that your mic is picking up. Now let's take a look at using the DeBleed with some multi-mic drums. So these are two time-aligned drum tracks. I've got a kick and a snare. If I play back this kick, you're going to hear the kick part, but there's also some bleed of the snare there. Similarly, if I jump across to the snare track, you can see the snare but there's the bleed of the kick. So let's do this in one run. We're going to first do the kick and then the snare. On the kick, I want to choose the bleed source as the snare, learn the bleed profile. So now I've got a bleed profile of the snare, and now I can use the reduction strength and the artifact smoothing to remove some of that snare. Let's preview this. I'll select an area and preview. Pulling the reduction down. There's the snare part over here, so let's take a listen out. Now increase the reduction strength. That's pretty impressive. Bypassing it. Going back to this part over here. And then with that reduction strength. That might have gone a bit far. I'm going to pull back the reduction strength and increase the artifact smoothing. But as you can hear, it's removed quite a bit of the snare there. So now when I go in and I want to mix these drums, I'm actually going to be mixing just more on the kick without having to worry about the bleed of the other instruments. Now let's jump across to the snare track and see how much of the kick we can remove in there. So here we need to choose the bleed source. So the active track is the snare and the bleed is the kick. We're going to learn the profile. And doing the same process, I can select an area of the audio to preview and then adjust the reduction and artifact smoothing. As you can see in the beginning here, this is the kick and then there's some big snare hits. So we can easily make sure that we're getting rid of that kick in the beginning here when we preview it. There's the kick, increase that strength. But obviously that reduction is changing the sound of that snare. So I'm going to pull that back. Bypassing it. That's with the kick, and now with it removed. So it's really amazing how well this works by taking out other instruments that have bled through into the audio source. You don't want to try to remove it completely because you are going to have artifacts as you heard there. But what you're trying to do is minimize the bleed so that you've got better sources to work with when you get into a mix. So that's how to use the DeBleed module. Now let's go over some others. Catch you in the next video.